Hello. It's great, man. Put some power, put some power. It's early morning. It's like 4, about to be 5 here. I just wanted to just chop it up a little bit. Speak about just vent. Really, it's like I'm really watching myself transform, grow. And, it's like I can see how I'm reacting differently to things that would have caused a lot of turmoil in the past, and that's a blessing. It's a blessing for sure. Uh, because anybody really in their right mind, they're they have a vision and they want to accomplish that vision. And typically, sometimes you can get the vision, you can get the route to the vision right on the first try. And really, the better you get at achieving those visions, I'm sure the better you get at accomplishing them on the first route. But that's not the case for everybody. And it's important to learn when you find out that's the case for you. It's important to learn how to keep the vision in the forefront of your mind, despite all that's going on around you and within you. That right there is quite the challenge. It is quite the challenge. But I'm in a space of my life now where I'm really starting to see it all come together, despite all of the challenges and the changes that have taken place within my life. And in particular, I have a change that's going on right now. And a relationship adjustment, and it would have devastated me back in the day because I didn't know what was going on or even how to react to it. Back in the day, I didn't understand relationship dynamics, especially long-term relationship dynamics, and especially when you are someone who is just worked on themselves. It could be different. It could be different. You seek somebody specific that can harmonize with the goal and with the vision. You don't just seek anybody. So that makes the process a little more tedious. But at the same token, it's well worth the search and well worth the adjustments. And in particular, the change in my life is romantic. I had professional changes as well, and I feel like it's a lot of adjustments being made, and they all are beneficial though, and I see them all like actually being um, not only like really like launch pads to where I want to be, like my dream of having a certain type of being in a certain type of space. You know what I mean? Like being in control of my time. You know, and that's pretty exciting. That's that's pretty exciting. So those changes need to happen. I'm assuming, and that's really what it boils down to. Champions understand that in the adjustments that happen during the route are all for you achieving the vision. So you become you become very well at adapted to change and being able to neutralize emotional trauma that sometimes they will traumatize and seize up people, and they don't move from where the trauma happens at emotionally. They don't move. They stay right there, and that is detrimental. Excuse me. That's extremely detrimental. Um, and so it's important to learn how to grow through changes. That is an important lesson. So I'm really seeing now that I'm ready for the changes that I desire. I'm ready for the growth that I desire, because anything that's happened on the way to it, I feel the human emotional response from it. But at the same token, I'm like, okay, well, if that's what needs to happen is to get me where I know I'm going, then I have to be able to take that in stride, and that can be, you just want everybody that you meet and that you connect with to go there, to get there on to the destinations, and you want them to get there with you, and everybody's not really built for that. Some people are, you know what I mean, and there's different phases and dynamics like that take place, and you have to be open to that. You know what I mean? Sometimes people can't be in your space in certain phases of their growth, and likewise, you have to be able to allow that, and that's where maturity comes in. And a lot of people aren't really like emotionally, or uh, they're not mature emotionally, so they certainly it's really hard for them to be mature in relationships. And so it's important to be able to assess that, how you handle um, people's people's actions towards you. How do you respond to that? You know what I mean? Like, it's usually less about what they're doing, because they're gonna do what they do. They're gonna do what they do. Uh, and you just have to be able to respond in certain ways to where it doesn't burn bridges. You know what I mean? Like, if a connection was there, then the connection is there, and it, you know, people may not walk across that bridge. You they may establish the bridge. You know what I mean? But they might not walk across it uh, like one may desire. But at least you have a bridge. It's good to have. Some people can't get bridges. And they don't want to be islands. So that's a blessing to be able to appreciate that you have that ability to connect with people. Just all your relationships may not go exactly how you want them to go, and that's okay. You have to be able to understand and accept that. And that is really um, that is a really, really powerful lesson to learn in life, because you are dealing with relationships all the time. When you're dealing with people all the time. You're related to everything. Everything is a relationship of some sort, but in particular, talking about human relationships, it's important to understand how to handle them, and how to not necessarily even handle them, but how to flow with them. I think that's the better term. How to flow with relationships, and how to be mindful of own uh, one's own energy and ability to not become depleted, because that depletion is what causes people, I think, to do the most ridiculous things. You know what I mean? Like, they feel either the fear of energy depletion, or it that feeling itself is what causes people to do just like the most heinous things, and that's not even really who they are, and they weren't even energy vampires in that relationship. They just have become addicted to whatever exchange was taking place, and then somebody made a decision to to cut them off or to do something, move on, and then they have an emotional reaction, based off of that fear of not being able to um, have those sorts of emotional gratification again, those sorts of energetic exchanges again. And you have to be able to satisfy yourself completely first before um, you can fully, I think, go with the ebbs and flows of long-term relationships. You know what I mean? Um, Constructive long-term relationships. Because there's some that are long-term relationships because people are codependent. You know what I mean? And those aren't. Those are just there because they need each other, not because they want each other. And that's the type of relationship that I am establishing. Intimately with my goddesses. It's because we want to be with each other, not because we feel like we need each other. So, and if at any moment that relationship feels like it's in that space where it needs to be addressed, not even addressed, but it just that's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen because the vetting process now is so important and extremely thorough. So now it's just an enjoyment of the fruits of the labors of planting the seeds of abundance and opulence and prosperity in my own relationship with myself. You know what I mean? Like that right there is now manifesting into all those things outside of me. And that's really exciting. That's exciting to see verified consistently. Um, is now like, wow, we are it's happening. It's happening. And it's supposed to. And, this is the justice that I've been seeing over and over again. But it seems like it may come at a just an unexpected change. It could be an unexpected great change. And am I right? Right now, I'm venting about one particular relationship, but um, you know, it's just it's just interesting how they are, and I'm venting about it in particular because I've seen so many people have come into my world speaking about their relationships and how it's going through a lot of changes that they didn't desire. And it's like, oh wow, so this isn't just happening in my world. It's happening in a lot of people's world. So it must be all for the good. It's just about everybody understanding um, like who they are and being mindful of really what they want and the emotional state they allow themselves to get into and stay in. I think that's very relevant, and that's something that I had to really start to learn and master as I'm building this opulence. It's like I have to master my states at all times, and it's just not optional. It's not optional. I have to make sure that I embed prosperity and love and compassion and great fortune into my being every single day and multiple times a day, because things will try to take you from that state. And um, then who are you? So if that's not who you want to be, then you have to make sure that you're in control of the state of being, of your state of being, and not something else is. So anyway, I kind of just wanted to touch on that a little bit and vent a little bit about uh, the relationship dynamics that are going on. Uh, yeah, it's really heavy. I'll expound more on it soon. I just want to touch on it and remind myself and other people to really get excited about these changes that are happening in their lives, and to be mindful about what they are creating with that energy, because anything can be used. Um, anything can be used for you or against you, because your word is law. So be mindful of your words and how you even speak about the situation and whoever you're dealing with, because they're just a reflection of you, no matter how they are acting. And excuse me, I tried to drink this this bottled water, unfortunately, and it made me sick. It was supposed to be a good water. Well, I knew it wasn't a good water. Just somebody else said that it was, and I was like, well, let me see. I don't like being a person that just always have to reject stuff that people offer me because it's not up to par. But that's what the fucking happens sometimes when you are kind, and you also want to experiment, because I want to see, double check. But it's good because I was able to educate as well, and let me know it's not a theory. Like, I'm not just saying something. Anyway, everybody has different bills. Anyway, going back to the relationship dynamics, it's good to really just know. In fact, second one was that. We just know what I say, how you handle how you process them, know where you're going, and hold on to that vision. I know somewhere along those lines, it'll come back to me. I know I said I was going to some water video, but that's not the primary thing. But get excited, just get excited about where you're going, and get clear about your vision for you. And another thing I wanted to bring up was something that changed my perspective also on relationships. And when I may go through a change in a relationship or the type of relationship with the woman, like whether she's a friend now or whether she's still my lady, those things used to really concern me, and they do, of course, still, because you want a long-term committed relationship. But at the same token, it's kind of like when you're the giver, or when you're um, the better lover, I guess is the best way to say it. When you're the better lover, and by better lover, I mean the one who does not place barriers on their affection because of trauma or fear. When you're that person in a relationship, then it's very critical to not allow yourself to be conflicted about who you are. Because people will let themselves be affected adversely, not realizing that they are the treasure, that like they are the jewel, and you're giving somebody else the reflection that they need so that they can actually learn to start valuing themselves more, because you value yourself enough to where excuse me, you're able to give the most valuable and the most precious currency to another. And that is not even something that a lot of people are able to generate in fullness. And we're talking about actual, like, real care. So if you're able to do that, then you are the treasure, and you will be, your value will be cherished. It is a must. The key for you is not hardening your heart to the point to where your treasure isn't able to even be seen because you were affected by somebody else who didn't value you. You know, you weren't the reason. Like, if somebody doesn't see your value, it doesn't make you any less valuable than what you are. You know, it just makes that person not able to see clearly, but you can, and you have to hold on to your vision of you, despite what somebody else may do to you. You know, because it doesn't always have something to do with you as much as it has something to do with them. And being the lover and the more caring person, typically you may be affected emotionally in relationships more heavily, and not be able to see this aspect clearly. And it's a lot of hearts that have become hardened because they didn't know how to really view themselves outside of relationships, and also how to regenerate themselves after relationships. Um, that's something that you have to master. You have to really, really, really figure out what works for you, so that you can continue to be um, the superstar that you are. You know, you can be the pillar of light and joy that this realm needs, in you being who you are. If you're traumatized, and if yeah, you can't. It's really hard to do if you're traumatized. It's really tough. So, and there's a lot of people that are traumatized, unfortunately, because they don't they don't know what to do, and they talk to people who also really don't know what to do either, because it's not something that is commonly that even wants to get spoken of. So everybody's um, quick to project the blame, and because you project the blame, then you can't really process clearly. You can't process it clearly. So you just have to find ways to understand your relationship dynamics, and also value yourself, so that you can continue to be the treasure that you are. So I hope this helps somebody. I know it helped me, but no, I think it's important to learn how to value yourself, and learn how to regenerate yourself, and just understand your own personal relationship dynamics, because everybody's is different. And once you figure you out, then you unlock your own keys to your universe. That you are. But you have to take the time to understand things about you that only you will be able to discover. You know, but it just takes time, and we want to put that filler time with other things. So make time for you, and you'll discover the treasure that you are. It's inevitable. So, with some power, I just wanted to chop it up late night, just kicking it, and wanted to vent a little bit, and also just kind of touch on this, because I could tell it's a lot of relationship turmoil in the air. I know it's some sort of major transit going on. I'm sure that's having a massive effect, especially. So it's just important to put this energy out there in the airwaves and just and speak love and resolution, love and resolution, uh, because that's the energy that we need. You know, that's the energy that we need. So commit to the great. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep loving. Keep growing. And it all comes together because you created it that way. You created it that way. Don't lose that vision, that knowing. And if you don't know, then seek. Just seek love.